Anachronic.
Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to say congratulations to my buddy Joe for not just reaching 400 subscribers on YouTube, but for blowing that number out of the water. Congrats.
All hail, Godfather of our YouTube channels. Hey guys, it's Joe at Anachronic Comics, our 500 sub giveaway. Matt Woods, my co-host, is here. I wanted to say thank you to Reggie for doing that video. I did have to give him about 400 comic books to add to his 10K collection, but you know, it was well worth it to get him on this video. Just kidding, guys, just kidding. Anyway, I wanted to thank you all for coming to the live stream. And I think I got a lot of things planned here that I think are going to be really, really good. And I wanted to thank this guy, this guy here, you know, for being my my co-host. So Matt, you know, I want to thank you for coming on here. You've been a great friend throughout my journey, which started last November. And I just want to thank you again for being the co-host here and helping me along on my very first live stream.
I tell you what, you say you just started last November, buddy, that's only a few months ago. And this is your 400 subscriber show. Although you did have to change the thumbnail and make it 500. You are absolutely rocketing up the charts. Everybody is so impressed with you from day one. You have been one of the best channels, best guys on YouTube. Like, congratulations, Joe.
Well, thanks, Matt. I don't know about being the best guy on YouTube, but I just have to say, of really having a good time doing this. And I have a lot of comics I still need to show, and I have so many different ideas. Sometimes I wake up at 3 in the morning thinking, oh, this could be a good video. This could be a good video. So it's really wacky. I think it's not good for my health, but at least it is fun. And while it's fun, I want to continue doing that. But yeah, we went back to last November. It was the first time that I posted anything.
But you've been talking about waking up at 3 in the morning. That goes to show how much passion you have for this craft and this hobby. And you've been collecting comics since when? Early 60s? I don't want to tell your age, but just give it a shake or a nod, whatever. But you've been doing that for a long time. And collecting comics, we've been doing that forever, okay? That's a great part of the hobby. But you added something to your hobby. You added this YouTube, and you have a lot of passion for it. And it keeps you up in the middle of the night. So, yeah, we all thank you for what you do for us.
Well, that's kind of you. I'm not sure what I do for everybody, except that I'm having fun. So if everybody else likes it and is having fun, that's great. But, remember, I still remember, now I have this introduction. People kind of like that whisper at the beginning of him. But when I was interviewed by Gary B and the Usual Suspects, they asked me who did the whisper. And I don't know if people here knew about it, but that's my daughter that's doing the whisper. And I told her, could you just whisper Anachronic Comics? And she sent me the audio, but it wasn't very good. I said, no, whisper. She goes, it's not going to sound good. I said, it's going to sound great. Do it. And she did do it. And so I added that to that little drawing that I made, and kind of that's the introduction. But if anybody watched my first video, this was the introduction that they saw.
Hey comic book peeps, I'm Joe, and welcome to the Anachronic Comics channel.
Love that introduction.
I remember you telling me, because I had posted that, just the introduction part, maybe a few months before. And the way we started, I don't know if you can remember, but it was you, and I think it was Wayne. I think Alan was in it too, if I remember correctly. But what I did was I was in Cape Cod, and I had all these mailers. You remember that? It was a stack maybe this high. And I hadn't opened them up because I wanted to bring them back here to New York where my comics are, right? And so I remember saying to you guys just in Instagram, whatever, oh, maybe I just should have a YouTube channel, and everybody said, yeah, do it, have a YouTube channel. And so I said, oh, if I do that, what am I going to do? So I said, let me see if I can do an introduction. And that was it. And I posted it. And I remember you telling me, that's a perfect introduction.
Absolutely. I loved seeing that thing. But you brought me in on your channel very early on. Like, you were giving me updates of whenever you would do the introduction, or well, you told me about your daughter, doing the voice for the Anachronic comics, before you even had a channel. I think it was probably 2-3 months before you had your first video out there.
That's right. Yeah.
So I always felt like I was like not in on your channel, but like I was given that, inside look into the workings of it.
Well, if Reggie's the godfather of my channel, what does that make you?
Redheaded stepchild. I think that's what it makes me.
Well, I have to say one thing. I mean, I felt like I really got to know you really well from your first videos, where you were building that wonderful comic book room that you have behind you, And well, I watched you build it, watched you making those cabinets and so forth.
Well, that was how I got introduced to you. I mean, at the very early on stages, I remember seeing you a couple times on the live streams of Reggie's, but there's 100 some people in those live streams, and you don't get to know people that well. I mean, pretty well, but not enough. But whenever I was, my son and I, Spencer, we were remodeling this comic book room. I would put messages out on Instagram about every day what my progress was. Every day, you always had the best comments on those Instagram posts. You were so encouraging. I felt like you and I were having a conversation, every single day as we would go about it, because it wasn't just one message and drop it. You and I would like message each other back and forth 5 or 6 times every single day.
But you know what? Here's a secret that I've told no one at all. The reason I was so interested, Matt, in you building those drawers and all that was that, and I remember telling this to my wife, if I would have a second chance, I'm a lawyer, right? But if I had a second chance, I wouldn't be a lawyer. I'd want to be a master carpenter. So when I saw you making those things, I'm saying to myself, my God, I wish I could do that. And I remember asking you for the plans, and you sent them to me, and I looked at the plans and I said, ain't no way I could do this stuff. So you popped my dream bubble there. That's it.
Well, I will let you in on a little secret, Joe. A master carpenter would rip these to shred, because I had a couple criteria whenever I was building them. One, that there's a lot of weight in the comic books right there. I'm on the second story of my house. I have floor joists that need to be able to hold a weight. So I got in there and I started figuring out exactly how much weight I could put on there. And I probably would have made this out of a different material, melamine board, but I had to make these cheap and most importantly, light. So there's a better way to make these, and this is not finished carpentry by any stretch, but I think it makes it looks all right here in this comic book room. Like, the decor is great. I have my own son's original art up on here, so we can customize these, however we want going forward.
I tell you, when you stop teaching and the job you do right now, you may be able to get a job doing that, because they look great.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So I do have one thing now. Besides all the encouragement that you and some of our other guests have given me, there's one thing that you probably didn't know about, and that is that I think it was during my third video. I mean, in the beginning, I didn't seem to have, good energy, and so forth. And so this guy actually got into my video, and he sent me a note. This guy's name is Jeremy Farrelly. He goes,
I've heard of him. I've heard of him.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a speech coach, right? Yeah. So he wrote to me, he says to me, Dear Joe, I just saw that you made 500 subscribers. Congratulations. You're doing great. I always listen to your intonation and to your energy level. And I see that what we did way back when has taken hold. Again, congratulations. So I actually pulled out the video that Jeremy had with me, where he helped me. So let's take a look at it.
Hi, I'm Joe, and this is Anachronic.
Okay, stop, please.
Your half-hearted attempt at doing an introduction is making me queasy. It's hurting me, son.
Who are you?
Who am I? Who am I? The fact that you don't know who I am is indicative of the fact that you can't speak English. My name is Jeremy Farrelly, son, and I am the speech coach to the stars.
Okay, what do you want with me?
Well, I am here to help you if you want, son. I'm here to help you.
All right, what do you suggest?
Well, I suggest that you use some verb. Some verb. Come from the gut. Give me some energy, son. Try it.
Okay, I'm Joe, and
Son, is English your first language? Because you certainly don't know how to speak it. Try again. Give me some energy. Come from the heart.
I'm Joe. This is Anachronic.
Better. Try it again. And this time, let's hit a home run.
Anachronic Comics.
You got it, son. Another success for the coach to the stars. Yes.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy.
Well, listen, it's Mr. Farrelly to you, son, but you're welcome. And now go out and do it. Do it. See you later, son.
All right, bye. I'll do it. Hi, I'm Joe, and this is Anachronic Comics.
And the rest is history.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
So we got our first group of guests here. All right, working our way from this angle here. We have Rob, Dissects Comics. Rob, how you doing? Welcome.
I am just.
We have below me, Freaky Louie.
Yeah.
Hey, Louie, how's it going, Louie?
Awesome.
All right, Gary B. How's it going? And Slotitup, Jason.
What's up, everybody?
Now, these guys, I have to say, I love these guys.
Best air in comics.
But what the thing about it was when I was looking around, I was involved with Reggie, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on with some of the Give and Gab people. But I started kind of stretching out, trying to find other things going on, and I think the first guy that I found was Jason. It slotted up, I think, Jason. And I think part of it was we got to talk and stuff like that because of this. Let me see. Let's see if I can get this up there. Remember this?
Yeah.
And Rob, you're right next to me.
Oh, good times.
Nice.
And
That
all
is
that
a great picture.
And all of that was Gary B's Wrote Together initiative, that came up there. But I had found Jason, and I just kind of liked his style and seemed like a good guy, like a fun guy. Like if he lived next door to me, I'd be inviting him over for barbecue and a beer or something like that. Or I make a mean margarita. So that's my thing, So anybody wants margaritas, come on over. And then from there, it just expanded. I saw, your show with Rob, and then, actually I heard about Gary B. And Louie. I mean, I don't remember the first time that I saw the show. But I saw that and I said, the Spider-Man thing and the cosplay. I said, this guy, and you're in Tampa. My place is down in Naples. So
awesome.
A few hours north of me,
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to invite you guys in there because, through your efforts and just being involved and helping me, be on your channels and just asking people to go ahead and to subscribe to my channel. I just wanted to thank you guys and give you an opportunity to come back and say how wonderful I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're terrific.
Fantastic.
Well,
You can go now.
Joe, since your check is cleared, prepare to be. No, it's. I know I got introduced, I think, via that same Grow Together, but would see you. Jason would talk about you more initially, and started watching some of your stuff, and I just fell in love with the different point of view compared to so many of us are of a contemporary age that it's well, we're just old enough just to remember how it used to be, but really have lived in the more modern experience of comic collecting. But we all have spinner rack experience somewhere in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
To go back and have somebody talk about that what it used to be, and to bring out the subscription folds and all the other stuff just warms my heart so much to bring back the little piece of memories that I have from that, and to see how that passion still burns in you today is inspiring, and a completely different set of knowledge of comic book collecting, of how it was versus how it is today. That's absolutely I enjoy beyond no end.
Rob,
I learned
you read that exactly the way I wrote it. It was just amazing.
I tried. I got through without going into a coughing fit. So,
well, thanks, Rob. That's really nice of you to do that, and I appreciate you, saying those things. I really do.
And I did find something to add to your pile of giveaways for today.
Oh wow! Okay.
In memory of our era and our love of science fiction and subscription creases. We'll have a copy of the Atom, the nicest 5.5 you'll ever see, because of a subscription crease that runs through the backside that limits the max grade. And other than that, this thing would be an 85990 all day long. But it's but on the backside you can sort of, if I can get it just right, you'll be able to sort of see the sub crease that runs right down the middle.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a 5.5. So it kind of kicks us to that. It's DC. It's 1967, and sub crease all the way, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, that adds value to all collectors when they see that sub crease.
And I think too, Joe, for your channel, I found you through the same thing you showed, that thumbnail, and slotted up some Grow Together tag with you in it. And that was my introduction to your channel through Jason. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I'll check out this guy. And I think one of the magic things about your channel is, and all of us here connect to that, is the nostalgia factor. There's not one of us here that doesn't love the smell of the newsprint comic.
Yes.
Yeah, the feel of it, just the way that print is too when you open those books, and just there's a nostalgia factor to your channel. But more importantly, you owe me another thanks tonight, because I had to talk Louie out of his Vampirella cosplay, because he was all set to come on, and I had to talk him out of it. I said, Louie, it's bad enough I had to see the preview. No one else needs to see this. You got to put a shirt on, buddy.
That would have been a sight to see, Louie. I have to say. You know what?
Louie is Vampirella and Gary B is Red Sonja.
Hand me the photos, okay?
The night is young, my friends.
He asked me a question that was inappropriate. He says, "Is this what Camel Toe looks like?" And I'll never be able to look at another picture in my life.
Yeah.
The
full Monte on Anachronic Comics.
Oh gosh. So my channel gets knocked off the air on my first live stream.
That was great.
That's a mental picture I'll never get out of my head now. For life. Thank you very much, JB.
I'm here to entertain.
So Louis, when I get down there, if I go up to Tampa, I was thinking of bringing some stuff over to CGC. Maybe I'll stop over your place there and take a look at that beautiful backdrop you got there.
Yeah, best friend. Oh yes, I'm proud of my comic room too, dude. I'm making it look like a comic book shop. But yeah, thank you so much, Joe. This is my favorite part of what I do. But gosh, dude, I'll never forget. I actually stumbled upon your videos, and it was the comics my mom didn't throw away.
The comics my mom let me keep, which is a series that I have to get back to. I've got some really great things to show. And I'm gonna bring some of them to Cape Cod with me so I could do the videos on them because they're really good. Which one did you see? Do you remember?
Well, the first one, gosh, I can't remember. Were they the ones that were folded in the envelopes?
Oh, well, that was, I have a few of them. Those are the mailer ones. They're folded in the envelopes. But the comics my mom let me keep, I think I've done The Flash, Thor, I think. What else? I've done another. Oh, I've done like fantasy. What's it called again? Fantasy something or other. I forget what it is.
Did you do the Shadow?
Yeah, Shadow.
I did Showcase as well. So these are comics when we moved, for everybody watching. They were on the channel. These are comics when we moved from Manhattan. We had an apartment in Manhattan. My parents, who were factory workers, saved up their shekels and decided to buy a house in Staten Island because the rest of my father's brothers and sisters all moved to this one place where one of them had a bungalow, a summer bungalow, which they knocked down and built a house, and everybody started building houses or buying houses there. So we held out in Manhattan until 1969, and so we moved from Manhattan to Staten Island. I probably had, I'd say, a good 500, 600, 700 comic books. They were all stacked by the window on the floor. Okay, but
these are Silver Age comic books. I just want to remind people.
Yes,
right. So my mom tells me that, well, you probably should get rid of some of these comic books. And I said, well, okay. You know, and you remember 69, so I was 18, and I was getting ready to go to college too, right? So I said, oh, well, okay. So I got rid of some, and to this day, sometimes it comes into my mind, because I do have Amazing Adult Fantasy, which became Amazing Fantasy number 10. And I always wondered, did I have 15? Did I have 15? Did I have Spider-Man 1? You know, did I have that one?
How many of us have those stories of, 18 years old and moving out and stuff when we came back home for something that either we had been forced to move it out ahead of time, or when we came back, stuff disappeared while we were gone.
All my comics.
But
18 out the door. My parents got it all.
But I threw them out myself, man.
Right, which hurts even more, right?
No, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I did that with my first collection. Where I sold it for next to nothing because I was getting ready to move out and move in with my fiance. Little did I know that my current wife, who was my fiance back then, had 700 books that she was moving in with us. They're selling off a couple short boxes, and she's bringing in 7 long boxes. I'm like, what the heck?
Well, but the thing is, I still have a lot of really good comics that I do want to show. So I'm really thankful that I do have those comics. And finding the ones in the basement that apparently I moved here and put them in the movie box. It's like, it's like crazy. First I found the mailers, then I found these things. It's like, what's going on? But it's really a matter of having, seeing you guys and seeing the channel, and getting the channel going and saying to myself, I've got to kind of get my collection organized. Because we had some in the basement, some in the closet, some in this room. So they're better organized now, but still not where they need to be. But that enabled me to find some pretty cool comics.
I can't wait for Joe, for you to find yourself a press and start pressing your own books now with some of those things. And
I bought it. It's downstairs.
Nice. I can't wait to start to see some of those things.
So when I come back here after the summertime, I'm going to fool around with that a little bit.
I mean, not that you'll ever get rid of those sub creases, but at least you can smooth out some of that stuff. That's gonna be amazing.
Well, the shadow, I think I have the full 12 run, so that might be a good one to try it out for. Because other than number 1, it's not really worth that much money. So maybe we'll try it out with those and see how it works out. So Jason,
practice.
Jason, I wanted to thank you because you were really kind of the one guy that got me. That found me. I don't know if you found me or I guess I found you, then you found me. And the fact that you came out, and I think I had about 250 or 60 subscribers at that point. I think you said, let's get the guy to whatever the number was.
I forgot, but man, your channel is so informative. And I think I talked to you a lot through messages, through your videos. And I think I asked you at one point, dude, were you a teacher? And I think you responded, yes.
Yes.
At some point, and I'm like, because you have such a good way of giving information and not being boring. You know what I mean? You speak so well, you give information well, and it's almost like watching, like when you talk about the comics that your mom made you give away. It's almost like watching a little movie as you tell us the story of you as a kid. It's like almost like someone wrote a script. You tell it so well.
Did you? Because you mentioned this once. Did you? I have this what's it called? Well, I have on. I forget what it's on, but I have some stories that told. I have to tell some more, about 20 of them to tell about growing up in the city, and it's called First of the Night, and so you mentioned it at one point in time. Have you listened to any of those?
Was that on? I think you gave it was you sent me to another website that had like a podcast almost.
Yeah,
you talking? Yeah, I think I did listen to that.
Okay, I'm going to move those over to YouTube.
They're amazing.
Leeway. And I have about another 20 to put in there, but that's really where the stories come in, and I think, to me, growing up in Manhattan in the 50s and in the 60s, was kind of a unique experience that just doesn't exist that much now. It's very different.
I grew up on the West Coast.
Yeah,
you filled me on so much information I didn't know about. Comic creases and between you and DJ Lynx, I know so much now about New York.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Manhattan, so I'm from the real city. Sorry, DJ.
Oh, dang.
He goes to Midtown Comics. That's what I do when I go down to the city too. So we're compadres that way.
I'm with Jason. We just grew up here in the old Wild West, where
Yep. And when I found you, man, I just had to share it out to everybody because you tell stories so well. I felt everybody needed to hear your stories.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys. And I think everybody talks about the community being really great. The fact that you guys came out to help me out on this first live stream, and again to read all those notes that I told you to read about me and to say about me, and you guys did a really good job.
Like I said, your check cleared. So I don't know who else writes checks anymore, but hey, your check cleared.
Jason only accepted Zelle, so
Yeah, I only got Zelle. I just got it, so we're good. I can do my giveaways now.
All right, let's do those. I think. Let me see. Let me bring this up. Oh, now, guys, let's just everybody that's here now. One prize to a person, okay? And as we mentioned, you have to be either have an address in the U.S. or post office box in the U.S. as well. All right. So when I go through this, Jason, you had a couple of things you were going to give away as well, right? You want to show them?
I did.
Let me bring you up.
So we'll start off with this one. This is a double signed book. It's a 9/4. It's Undiscovered Country #1. It's signed by Charles Soule and Scott Snyder.
Okay.
Got that patriotic cover there. And of course, everybody's favorite, Batman 100. One of the mini variants of #100, and it's Mercado Virgin variant.
That's
So
really
it's like
cool.
3 or 4 variants, something like that.
Yep.
That's very cool. I like that one. Yeah. All right. So why don't we do this? And Rob, you've got one too, right?
Correct.
So let me bring this up. Thanks to Gary for giving me the link for this thing. Let me see if I could do this the right way here. Okay. Nice. So we've got this here. Now I've got to get really close because I can't see.
It's got so much noise on it. It's so hard to use.
Wow. Oh, God. All right. So I think I've got this. I've got that. Let me get this over here. Oh, I got to do it. Oh, I got to do it on the big one, I say. All right. Gotcha. That makes it easy. All right. So this would be for which one, Jason?
I will go ahead and start off with the Undiscovered Country. We'll save the best for last. We'll save Batman for last.
All right. All right. So here's the winner for Undiscovered Country. Oh, I got to put the UL. Hold on a second. Be with you guys in a second. All right.
I gotta agree with Tina.
You can never go wrong with agreeing with Tina.
All right. I think I did this the right way this time, so let's try it again now. Why is this not working?
You have to hit get comments somewhere. Somewhere down there it says right there, get comments.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
62. No wonder there's no comments to pick, right? And here's the winner. Let's see who it is. Joe M.
Joe M.
Nice, a good community guy.
Absolutely. Joe,
right, so
message me on
Joe,
Instagram.
All right.
Well, actually, what I'm going to do is this. There's a ticker running at the bottom, Joe M. So either through Instagram at anachronic_comics or an email to anachronic@gmail.com. Send me your info. I'll get it over to Jason. All right. And he will send you that piece. How's that? Good? All right. Next one. Good. That's the Batman, right?
That was the Undiscovered Country.
Right. And now we got the Batman coming up.
And the Batman right here.
All right. Let's see who wins the Batman. Ryan Nietzsche. Okay, Ryan, same thing. Send me your information either through Instagram at anachronic_comics or an email to anachronic@gmail.com. And you got that really cool Batman. If I would have known you were giving away Batman, I would have entered it myself.
Can we do this? Let me get it going here.
All right, Rob.
Yes, sir.
You got one too, right?
Yes. We have the Atom 33 with that beautiful 1960s sci-fi with a DC with a subcrease in honor of Joe.
And thank you. All right, let's see who wins the crease.
Let's see who wins the crease.
Wrong number. Sorry.
Wrong number. Para información en español, marque 2.
Yeah. All right, wrong number. Same thing. Either Instagram, anachronic_comics or anachroniccomics@gmail.com. Now, guys, you got to do this quickly. All right. I learned from Rob. You got a week. All right. You got a week. So you got to get me that information this week, and I'll pass it on to those guys. Same thing with the rest of the stuff we're going to give away. If I don't get your information in a week, we'll have to pick somebody else to win the particular prize. Okay? All right. Let's stop sharing. All right, guys. I want to thank you for helping me out during this live stream. I really appreciate it. There's not much more that I can say other than just thank you. I really, really love you guys and hope that we can remain, friendly associates, and
as long as you don't go send Bruno to break our legs, we're good.
Right?
Well, Bruno in New York. We don't know.
That's right.
All right. So with respect to this, we're talking about Bruno, right? Well, Bruno did send oh, wait a minute. Louis, I forgot. There was somebody who mentioned you and sent a congratulations. I want to show that before you guys left.
Yeah.
I forgot. Ready? Okay, here it comes.
Hey, Joe. Anna here. A couple of things. Number one, I'd like to thank you and Freaky Louie for making me a star. And second of all, congratulations on reaching 500 subs. That's awesome. Bye.
You're beautiful.
Too much fun with filters.
Anachronic, she's a big fan.
Your name is beautiful.
Even since you showed her video on your Saturday night. Now Louis has a great show on Saturday night, right? Live from Newport. It's Saturday Night Louis.
Yeah.
Louis, I take it back. I'll take you in the Vampirella now.
All right, guys. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. All right. Take care. And let's take a look at Bruno's congratulatory video.
Hey, Joey, this is Bruno here. I hear you're doing a live show. I don't see my invitation. What the heck happened? I understand you're going to have like some sort of squirrel on. You're going to have a climber. You're going to have a slot, some guy named Gary, a stacks guy, a key or something. I don't know. But what about me? Without me, you'd maybe have 100 subscribers, not 500. Let me remind you, this is my first appearance.
And as a matter of fact, I have a couple of boxes that I've opened, though I haven't taken a look at them. So I thought we'd take a look and see what's in there. Okay, what? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I promised that there'd be someone else that would do this for me. So I'm going to have to give this over to Bruno. Bruno's going to do this for me. Bruno, you want to come over? Yeah, this is Bruno here. I don't know what the heck Joey was doing there. He knew that I was supposed to do this. And what is he doing? He's starting to show this stuff yourself. And that's what I'm here for. He told me I could do it, and now he's starting trying to take over my gig. Anyway, well, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, anyway, I guess you had something to do with it, so I'll give you my congratulations. But congratulations to us, right? All right, take care. See you soon.
That Bruno guy, man, he's pushy.
I tell you something. He's from like the Lower East Side, and those Bowery Boy guys and the rest of that type of stuff. They think they know it all.
But hey, those guys really motivated me to do a giveaway. Do you care if I do a giveaway, Joe?
No, that's great. What do you got?
Well, I have a few books here. I have Avengers, Curse of Man Thing, #1. I like Curse of Man Thing. My favorite book, okay? Conan the Barbarian #1. Sorry, guys, this is a True Believer edition, but it's still the original story. Now, this book is a trade paperback. This is Birthright from Skybound. And I have 2 copies right here of Gung Ho, Sexy Beast, #4. So whoever wins this, I'm going to give all 5 of those books to that person.
All right, that's great. Well, thanks, Matt. That's really nice of you. All right, so shall we pick another winner then? Let's see who we get. Dale of Suspense Comics and Collectibles. All right, Dale.
Dale of Suspense. Now, Dale follows me on Instagram. Dale, reach out to me, and I'll mail those right away off to you.
All right, that's great. Or if you forget, or if you dropped Matt Woods, which would be a sin, all right, you can also send the stuff to me as well. So you got a couple of different choices to do that. All right. Okay, so let's get some more guests in here. We have Steve, Master Blaster.
Congratulations. Right.
Thank you. You're crazy, man. Wayne, Squirrel Madness Comics. How you doing, Wayne?
Hey, good, Joe. Hey, guys. Congratulations
on Mr. Madness.
Thanks. And we have Alan from Climbing Comics. How you doing, guys?
Hey, how's it going? Congrats again.
Thanks
awesome.
again.
Glad
Thanks
to be
again.
Here.
So, you heard me talk to Matt about some of this stuff, but of course, Regie was the man, and that's how we all got to know each other through Regie. So, as a practical matter, only because you don't get to do this too often, let's watch the man one more time, because I like to hear him talking about me.
Regie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to say congratulations to my buddy Joe for not just reaching 400 subscribers on YouTube, but for blowing that number out of the water. Congrats.
I think I'm going to play that every morning, when I get up with my coffee.
That'll be your alarm clock ring.
Yeah.
Right? Get bang, stand up. Stand up.
Anyway, so look, I wanted to thank you guys because you guys really inspire me. Wayne and Alan, going way back, you were part of the ones telling me that I needed to show those mailers that I had or whatever else, the stuff that I had at Cape Cod, and Steve, we really got to know each other a little bit more because of Christmas.
That's right.
You remember that? What was that all about? You remember that? It was one of your great ideas.
We pulled each other on the Given Christmas exchange, and it was fantastic. You took really good care of me. We communicated, and we got to know each other. It was awesome, and I couldn't have been luckier to pull you.
Well, you're really, really kind. The best thing that I got from, now you guys may not know this, all right, but I got some cool stuff from Steve. I got a nice kind of like Air Force shirt and a cap, which was really good. I've worn that a few times, even on one of my videos, I think. But the best thing that he sent was MREs. Was it ravioli or something like that? I forget what it was. So I have a whole pack of MREs that came in there. So I told my wife, "You want to have this for dinner tonight?" She didn't appreciate that too much, Steve. But it reminded me of going to the Jamboree, like back in 2005 or 6, whatever it was, where basically our lunch was MREs that that we brought with us. So that was really cool. That, besides some comics and stuff that he had sent to me, was really kind of cool. That's how we got to know each other pretty well. But
bonding over MREs, that doesn't happen very often.
No. As a Christmas present too, as as well. So anyway, but each one of you guys, you know, I mean, you know, Wayne, you know, seeing you commenting stuff, and I mean, you're really so knowledgeable about things. And I know you just recently came back to your
thank you,
to your YouTube channel. You know, you got to post a few more though that are there, because you came back and I was saying, oh, this is pretty interesting, and you haven't posted for a few weeks now, so you got to.
I know.
One a week.
Well, here's the thing. I actually want to do better with my channel, and one of the inspirations for that is you, Joe, because the stuff you do and the stuff you put out is so informative, it creates so much knowledge in the community that it's an inspiration to all the other YouTubers who watch your videos. So I want to do better. I want to have thumbnails. I want to do things that are not just unboxings. I want to share knowledge with the community. And I do certainly intend to have an improved channel, and what you do really inspires me to want to do that and do a better job.
Well, you're kind to say that. You really are. I mean, you know, what I find from really all of you guys that are here is the knowledge you guys have. I mean, you keep saying that I have knowledge. I say I don't think I have as much knowledge about stuff as you do. My knowledge is stuck in kind of this time capsule that's put, you know, one of those ones that they put in the corner of the building. It's supposed to open up like, you know, in 2021 or something like that. And when I open it up, it's like, you know, stuff that's old, that's there. And it's great that you guys like it, but the fact that, you know, like even in the first group, like some of those people there, I mean, this writer, this person, this, that, this. I mean, I'm sitting there saying, oh, okay. And as I mentioned to a few people in the past, when I got back into it around 2007 or something like that, it was only because my office was right next, was about 2 blocks away from a Midtown Comics. And also then I was involved with the Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scout shop was in the Empire State Building, and across the street was a comic book shop. And I just started like going in there and looking at things, and I kind of got the bug, bit me again. But as a practical matter, when I got back, and I used to collect Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, you know, Spider-Man, Justice League, and a few others in the day. But when I picked up Avengers, it was like, I don't know. It was like I couldn't understand it. I guess is the best way of putting it. X-Men was all over the place. Yeah, you know, Spider-Man was the one that I could really attach to again. So I did, you know, and have been collecting it ever since that time. But those were bad. Now, Justice League I can get back into, although there were ups and downs with that as well. But it was just like a different world. And even when I read some of the stuff now, some of it is just so many words, so much that's there, and it's not something that hits me well, you know? I mean, if it was a short story, maybe, but as a comic book, you know, simpler, I think, is better for me anyway, you know? I mean, Alan, you said, yeah, you agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree with that. So right now I'm reading a lot of the Claremont stuff. I love Claremont, but sometimes it tends to be a little bit verbose in some cases. But like when you see like Donny Cates and Thor today, there's less words, but the whole story is kind of said in the pictures and stuff. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, look at Kirby. Kirby used to have these big splash panels, and the splash panel told a story in and of itself. It could have been a chapter, you know? Now, whether Stan told him like what to do or what have you, or, you know, gave him like 3 words, splash panel of like, you know, the Living Planet or something like that. But then he would go there and he'd do this great artwork, and I could just look at that forever. Yeah. So that's why I like the cover stuff so much, because I don't have to care about the story. Just look at the artwork and the cover.
See, I'm the complete opposite on that. I love art. I appreciate the art, but I'm a story guy. I could read those, you know, bubbles all day long, just giving me more detail. So that's one of the things about this hobby. There's so many different ways for everybody, and you know, we all can enjoy a different aspect of this hobby.
Well, Matt, you were my friend up until you said that. Now I don't know if we
I'm out.
I'm Patriots anymore.
Joe, because I love your cover content. Your cover you scroll through all the current covers and you pick the 5. And me and Stephanie, because we met at art school, we really are running with and realizing that we like the cover art buys now. And I really did get that from your channel and that view of your content.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that, I used to draw quite a bit. And when I retired, I did take, and you might have heard this on The Usual Suspects. I think I told them something about this. But there were 2 things that I could do fairly well. One was draw, and the other one was sing. So I took a lesson. I took some art lessons, and I took some singing lessons, like about a year or so after I retired. And and COVID kind of threw a wrench in the art lessons, because that was something I really enjoyed, and I learned quite a bit from this art teacher that was there. In terms of drawing, it's just basically pencil drawing and so forth, which I did a lot of anyway. As a kid, I drew my own comic books, and that type of stuff. But I started, I would fool around with different things. I would like different, pads and pencils and do things like that. So, excuse me. So when I see some of these covers, especially some of these, Italian artists and Spanish artists, I can't believe like he's over in Italy, drawing, Batman and so forth. And just the thought, I sit down there and say, how did he think of this? And how did he think to put Batman in this situation? Or how do they think to do kind of this, negative color art type of stuff? How did he think about doing this? How did he come up with? And then to accomplish it in such a way that, I keep saying this in some of those shows, I think these people, if they were like in the Middle Ages or something like that, they'd be the court artists drawing these beautiful paintings like Goya or Velázquez in the Spanish court, be drawing pictures of the king and the queen and so forth like that, because they're just that good. And have them drawing comic book covers, my God, it's just amazing to me.
It is.
I think it'd be great to see a middle-age fresco of Batman on the side of some, holy palace there. That would be great.
That would be something.
Sadly, I think the artist would be pegged as a devil worshiper and burned at the stake. So,
yeah, that might not be a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, Bruce Wayne did bring himself back from the caveman all the way through to the Middle Ages at that point in time when everybody thought he was dead. So maybe they should have taken some, go back and take a look at the pictures of that and see if he gets some, if he was there during the Middle Ages, and see how that works out. All right. But, Alan, the other thing, with you is like when I take a look, some of your stuff, besides the fun stuff like you're doing with your friend Johnny, and actually my best friend's name is Johnny.
Oh,
and
nice.
I've got 3 videos about comic books that I bought from him that I'm going to be putting together. I've got the stuff together for that. But anyway, that aside, the stuff you're doing with Hit Now is kind of cool because I can see how you guys play off of each other, and you clearly are friends and both kind of love comic books and collecting comic books. But some of your other stuff, I did a dirty grading thing way back when with Stargirl, I think it was Stargirl #1, which I sent for Jeff John Sitcher back then. This maybe was the 4th or 5th video that I made, and he still hasn't signed them. They're still at CGC.
Oh, really?
I did something there where I went through that, but I've learned so much from your videos where you go through that and and take out the book and see what's there. And now you're doing it on Instagram, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so you really helped me. When I just sent in Amazing Spider-Man 101 for Roy Thomas's signature, and when I went through it, I basically used a lot of the stuff I learned from you. I've got the book. I took a look at it. I went through the same thing you did, and sadly, I came up with like a 3.5. But maybe the guy at CGC, might be taking a little bit, maybe we get it up to a 5. You never know,
Exactly. So yeah, I noticed that like I always graded a little bit tougher, and of course, like it's nice when it comes back a little bit higher.
Yeah. Well, I think we all kind of do that, and I don't know if it's just so that we are, we're kind of happy when it comes back higher, or something along those lines.
I found out I grade hard too. I didn't realize that. I always thought a book had to be a perfect book to be a 9.8, and that's just not always the truth on it.
You had some good videos on that too, So I did some of that myself. Took a look at some of the things, and I mean, I had I forget now who it was, a Punisher artist. What's his name? Zek. Yeah,
Mike Zek.
Mike Zek. Yeah.
Hello, madame. Hello, madame.
Sign off.
Seth,
Blaster, you were the best part of that channel.
How you doing, Steph? So the thing about it was, I went to his website, and I bought his variants that he only sold on his website of the Punisher, which is one of the characters that I like. I have some Punisher comics, and so I said, I'm going to buy these because he's going to be signing at CGC. So I get them both. I get them. He packed them really well. I take a look at them. I'm looking inside. I'm being very careful. They both look great. So I said, you know what? These things don't need to be pressed. They didn't need to be cleaned, obviously, but they don't need to be pressed. There was nothing there. They were beautiful. So I get them both back, right? I think I did a video on them. So number 1, 9.8. I'm going, yeah, great.
Yes.
So Punisher number 2, 9.6. So I'm looking, I'm going, what the? I'm looking. I can't open the book anymore.
I know.
But I'm looking, I'm saying, what the heck? And so you sit there and you say to yourself, well, and what I learned from that is that if they're going to sign a book, you never know what's going to happen. If you saw some of the videos, even when Regie was down there, they're handing them over, going like this, fingerprint, I don't know, something there. So when I sent down the ASM 101, although I did some work on it myself, not the pressing and so forth, but I did a little bit of cleaning and I did some kind of dry pressing on it. I did have them clean and press it also, because I think once they sign it, you never know what's going to happen to the book. And if you really want to get a high grade, you're going to have to kind of bite the bullet, and pay for them to do that. That's kind of my view on it.
You have a book down there now. I won't send a book to be signed without having it pressed afterwards. Just like you said, you don't know how they're going to handle it or what's going to happen.
You too?
Would you send down Master Blaster?
I'm just saying 100% because of the handling. You want to get clean and pressed after 100%. Yep.
Yeah. I can't bring myself to do signings yet. I don't know why. I just that's an extra level. I just can't. Yellow labels don't matter too much to me. So, but if I did, I would definitely 100% have them do the work after, because what?
You're going to break
this group. Everyone has a little bit of perspective.
You're going to break Master Blaster's heart here talking like that, Wayne.
Sorry, I have a few, but I've never sent anything in. I just like,
So,
Steve, maybe Chris Pratt for $400 whatever dollars.
No, that I would never do.
Never.
That I would never do.
He didn't write Star-Lord. Yeah. He didn't draw him. I'm not getting Chris Pratt's signature.
So Steve, I just want to ask you one question then. So you are searching for sub 100 Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man magazines with Stan Lee's signature on it, right? Is it 100 and below or 99 and below?
Well, I have 100, so it's 100.
So it's 100 and below. So how many do you have?
I'm at like 42 right now.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's impressive.
And what's the lowest number one that you have?
6.
Wow.
That's just
and where do you hide the key?
Keys to the castle. So
okay. That's great.
Well, Joe, can I take a Joe to first say the first round of guests were amazing.
Yes.
And Rob's comments, I'd love to piggyback on the fact that I do consider you a mentor, that you've been in the game. I went and watched your first video and you started 50s, 60s, you said, and you've weaved in and out of the hobby, and you're back and you're embracing YouTube and Instagram, and you're an inspiration to all of us that have weaved in and out once or twice, that the future we can weave it in and out, no matter what it holds. And my hat's off to you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that, Steve. Yeah. Well, when I have a video on my 70th birthday where I kind of talk about, talk about that a little bit and kind of what it means to me and so forth. And I mean, that was a video that I just spoke from the heart with respect to it. And some of that just has to do with, growing up and it really being a part of my youth. And, I'm hoping to get, Alan, I'm hoping to get my friend Johnny on at some point in time, but I'm not sure how technical he is with the stuff like that. But I mean, we can get together at some point in time and talk about like sitting on the curb waiting for the truck to come for the new Batman annual and so forth. And he was the driver for me. He knew a lot more about comic books and what was going on. He's the one who introduced me to Marvel comics.
Wait, you read Marvel?
Not anymore.
I'm just playing.
Wait, come on! I showed you this, right? Look,
I know.
See? Right?
80 years of Marvel.
I'm learning, So anyway, but so I mean, so there's a lot of stories going back there, and it was, it was a big deal for us, sitting on the stoop of my apartment reading comic books, and that was part of just growing up in Greenwich Village in Manhattan in those days.
I mean,
so yeah,
go ahead.
No, I do want to say, like, when you go into those stories, those like little reflections like that is why I enjoy your channel. That is exactly why I enjoy watching you. And like, I'm going to pull one from Regie because like, whatever goal that you've met, whatever like goal that you meet, it's always good to like kind of sit down and reflect. So I'm just going to say that I want to recall the story of where like, I was first like kind of introduced to you, because it was through one of the live streams on Regie. And obviously I've seen your name, Anachronic Comics, on the chat. But the moment that you actually were on his show and you brought a different perspective, it really blew my mind. Like, I was kind of brought to where you were, like in New York. You like talked about like, I didn't look at DC the same way that you did, but after that one show, I looked at it very differently. So after I started, I'm so glad you started your channel, because after I saw it, your stories about, oh, this mailer came from this address. And oh, this is interesting. This was like a couple of blocks away from me, or it went from this address to that address to this address. I was like living vicariously through your experiences. So, and okay, this is a note for everyone watching right now. If you haven't seen this, go to Joe's channel. Like on the top, there's a link to like, he has different recordings that he's made. I don't know if everyone's seen this. Like, I think they're just audio recordings of like history that you've kind of set out there. So I listened to a couple of those, and it's really kind of bring like your story to everyone. So I have to say that how you kind of express your kind of growing up in comics and your relationships with others is very different. And I really appreciate that. And everyone like should definitely check out your recording. So thank you for having me.
When I was young, I wanted to be a writer. So all the stuff that I've written for like Steve, and for Alan, I mean, they're just doing a great job reading that stuff. So
I know, am I getting it right?
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I got mine here.
No, let me jump back in. I agree with Alan 1,000%. I might get some of this wrong, but you tell the stories about being on the stoop with John, I believe. And you talked about you guys would exchange comic books because you couldn't buy every single one. And the fact that you're like, the collection that you have now, some of it, like, I don't know if you alluded to Johnny Boy 2-cent collection videos coming, if that's buying books from John or what the case is. But I mean, I am so pumped. I mean, let's convince John to get on, because that's where the magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told him about this, but I'm not sure that he's on watching it right now, but I'm going to write to him, and when the replay, I'm going to tell him to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
amazing.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
It warms the heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's the personal stories about comics and comic collecting that I think really bring the hobby to life. So I think that's what's the great thing about your channel, Joe, is it's the personal history. It's not even that it's a longer history maybe than some of us have with comics, but it's that, as these guys have said, it comes from the heart and it's personal and it's real, and it makes people think about their own personal experiences with comics. Like hearing your stories of your childhood makes me think about my dad and who's passed. And I used to take comics when I used to go with him in the summertime. He was a truck driver and he would take me out in the days, and I would take comics and I would read them. And that's my happy memory of my childhood of comics. And, I think about those things when I see your stories. They make me think about the things that made me happy as a child, that drew me into comics and bring me back to it now as an adult. So
thanks, Wayne. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all you guys being on and helping me to celebrate the 500 subs.
I knew you'd make 500 by Friday. I knew it.
Well, I was at 502. I think it was 503 earlier today, and I kept on hoping that it wouldn't drop below 500.
That's the worst.
Yes, that is the worst.
Are we going to talk about the elephant in the room, the multiple personalities? I mean, come on.
What are you talking about?
The magic. I mean,
those are different people. They're not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, listen, guys, I appreciate it. And you guys can stick around. We have to give away a few more things that I promised people. So let's do that now.
Nice.
All right.
Let's see. All right.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, and Matt, this is the guy. I forgot to bring it up. This was Dale of Suspense Comics that won the last one. So I just wanted to bring that back up again. It's there. All right. So what we have here is, and since I made the 500, so first of all, let's go back. Let me just quickly go over some of the stuff that's here. Let me get myself up here. All right. So these are the comics that I had. This is number one. This was a Detective Comics 1035. Venom Dark Origins, 5 of 5. Miss Marvel, number 11 at 35 center. Batgirl number 25 from the new 52. Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense from Dark Horse. A wonderful Blue Beetle number 4, Ted Cord Blue Beetle. One of my favorite covers from Beyond the Unknown. I love the guys playing with the drums. An older Star Wars. This Detective Comics 385. This is the one I said is about a 3.0 or whatever, but it's Batman, and it's a 12 center. Justice League of America, number 98. Avengers, number 24. I actually had 2 of these, believe it or not. This is the Golden Age giveaway, Major Impact Space Ace. I got a couple of signature ones that I picked up at Midtown Comics. This is Garth Ennis. And this one was Tom King. Now, because I made 500, I thought I should sweeten the pot a little bit. So I've got this Catwoman, which is a cover by Adam Hughes. And let's see, I wrote this down. It's a, this is an homage to a Frank Miller cover, Lone Wolf and Cub number 1 from First Publishing. So it's an homage to that cover, the 9.4. So that's the package that's going to go to one of you lucky people that's out there. All right, let me get everybody else back up here. All right. So again, only one. If you won already, sorry, you got your prize. Just make sure you let us know where to send them to. And so now we've got basically our last winner. Ready? Here goes.
No, with your hand. Rub my head for good luck.
Shop for Comics. Hey, buddy. Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right. So
awesome.
again, it's scrolling at the bottom. Let me know at Anachronic_comics or anachroniccomics@gmail.com, and we'll be just fine. I'll pack them up, and send them out to you. All right. Well, guys,
What a giveaway!
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's great.
show.
So hopefully people like it. There's some good comics in there. I think anyway. Yeah. So, I have to tell you, I had a great time doing this. I'm glad there weren't too many technical difficulties on this thing. I want to thank
perfectly.
Yeah. I want to thank everybody that came up here and to help me celebrate, including the first group. What I did is in the description below, I have links to all your channels. All right. And I really suggest to everyone that you check out the channels. There's a lot of good stuff in all those channels. Of course, the Master Blaster Steph is the best stuff in that channel. Maybe he'll show us some of those Spider-Man comics now and then. But everybody has a unique channel. Everybody has a unique channel, and everybody, gives a little bit of something different to the community. So to end it up, what I'd like to do is to show my very first intro, and we'll leave it at that. So thanks again to everybody for joining, and be well, and I'll see you soon. All right, let's get this going.
Hey, comic book peeps. I'm Joe, and welcome to the Anachronic Comics channel.